What's up, everybody? This is Colby Cheese. It's time to play a little bit more towns, and I am just finishing up clearing down this area right here, and you'll notice my guys are actually fighting a tree keeper right now, and this is something that you will run into as you're clearing out trees. Oh no, and it just killed one of my guys. So this is something, I'm actually glad that he did kill one of my guys so I can, oh god, that's not good. So I can actually show you guys exactly what happens whenever you have these deaths in your town. So you'll get these human corpses where your bodies will be laying around, and you have to clear them out right away. Because if you do not clear them out, they'll start to stink up the place, and these ghosts will start to appear, and they'll just rape your entire town. So you have to destroy them by right-clicking, destroy. And so anytime you hear one of your people die, which you can find out from right here in the menu, you can say, oh no, so-and-so died. You can click on that, and boom, it'll take you there. Obviously, I already cleared it out. So right now, I'm not gonna have a very easy time of building stuff here because all these resources are laying around. And so we need to build a place for these resources to be placed. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and go to containers, and I'm going to build about 4 raw material barrels. And then I'm going to create a stockpile area for raw materials, and I'm just going to put it like right over here, and I'm going to make it about 4. And this is a stockpile area that I've created. Now you can actually manage what goes into these stockpile areas, and one thing you need to do, I always like to put stuff in barrels because it can fit up to 10 items in each barrel, whereas you can just put like one thing in one slot of this particular raw material area. So I'm going to go ahead and right click it and do manage stockpile and disable all, and you want to do disable all right away, and it'll make it so they don't put just one item in those. And then you want to do enable raw materials barrel, and that will make it so they only put the barrels on top of the stockpile area, and then they'll put the items inside of the actual barrels themselves. Alright, so what's going to happen is they're going to go ahead and come in here and put down the barrels, and then they'll start adding the materials to these barrels. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. I forgot to do this, but you probably want to do the same thing. I'm going to increase the game speed. It goes up to game speed 3. And this will allow your villagers to work much more quickly, which is exactly what we need. Okay. And so basically what I want to do is start to build some farms for these animals to come out and start getting some production of eggs and things like that, so I can make some omelets. And so let's take a look here at buildings, and you'll see that I've actually got these are the 2 things that I'm going to work on. I'm going to have a pig farm and a chicken farm, and this will allow me to chickens will just poop out eggs every once in a while. And I don't like to butcher stuff because it takes a while for them to respawn, but it's not too big of a deal really if you have enough production. You just need to make sure that you scale your production areas to match the amount of villagers that you're going to have coming in. And so I don't know the exact number for omelets and things like that, so we're going to kind of experiment together, and we'll learn it as we go. I in my last playthrough kind of which I did basically yesterday, I had a bunch of banana trees going, and that worked out quite well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the omelets, and I'm just going to place these guys down right. And by the way, if you want to put down multiple things, you just need to click it and then hold down shift whenever you start placing it, and that will allow you to place down multiples of that area. And so obviously you can see I can't put them down where this wood is, so I kind of have to wait for the villagers to come in here and clear that out for me. But I'm going to go ahead and just put down this mini chicken farms, and this way they hopefully will poop out a bunch of eggs. And I'm just going to go ahead and for now I'm just going to destroy these resources rather than wait for them to place them down, because I just don't have enough villagers right now to get a lot of this work done that I need done. Oops, looks like it started to lag there for a little bit. And so I'm going to create about this many here. I'm going to have a couple of chicken farms going on here. And what I'll do here in a little bit is I'll actually create a fence around here, because if you do not, then your chickens will just run all over the place and they'll mess up your town. And by mess up, I mean they'll make it look ugly. And you don't want an ugly town. We want everything to be pretty. So I'm going to create a farm fence around this chicken coop, I guess you can call it. And I'm just going to hold down Shift and create these walls. And I'm going to create one to there. And then I'm going to leave one space for a fence. And then we'll go to there and to here. And I'm going to have to remove this bush, destroy bush. Okay. And double click, bam. And then I can go ahead and go back here. So I did that through the walls menu. And then I can go over here to the actual furniture. And then I'll create a fence here under doors for my little barn area. Okay, boom, there we go. So I've created myself a little chicken coop, I guess. And I eventually will have some pig farm going on soon as well. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and start setting up the queues for gathering on these chickens. So I need to go to food and then gathering and animals. And right here, you'll see two different eggs, one for Scootenbeetens and one for chickens. And so I'm obviously using chickens. I'm going to go ahead and set up, it takes 2 eggs per omelet. And I'm probably going to want to make at least 10 omelets in a stockpile at a time. So I'm going to need to have about, I'm just going to say 10 eggs in excess on top of what we already have. So if I'm going to try and stockpile about 10 omelets, then I want to have an extra 10 eggs in it any time so they can make another 5, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and go back now to cooking. And we're going to set up omelets right here to be at 10. So we want to make sure that there are 10. So once you notice that you are able to effectively stockpile around the number that you put here of the food item, then you'll know that your production is sound. So in this particular case, everything is really far away because obviously I set up my temporary area over here, and that's not very efficient at all. But I'm going to get to that here in a second. For now, though, I think what I would like to do is continue this as my temporary area right here. And I'll eventually start to build this area up here as my actual like good town spot, I suppose you can say. Now the thing about attracting extra villagers is that you have to have a certain level of happiness for your people. And so in order to have a certain level of happiness, you have to put up decorations and you have to make sure everybody's well fed and you're not overworking them too much. And I'll work on that here in a little bit. But for now, what we need to do is set up some more stockpiles for things such as raw food. So we're going to have raw food from, you know, they're going to be able to collect these eggs here and put them into barrels for us. So I'm going to go ahead and manage this, disable all, and manage again. And I'm going to create some barrels here for the raw food. So containers, raw food barrel, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we've got the raw food barrels going on here. And so what's going to happen is they're going to go ahead and collect these eggs, and they'll put them into these raw food barrels. And actually, you know what? Let's destroy that stockpile. Let's put the stockpile over here in our temporary area for now, because we want it to be efficient. So let's create the stockpile right here, raw food. We're going to put it right next to our kitchen for now, and that'll work. Disable all, manage, and enable the barrels. Okay, so then we're going to also set up a stockpile for prepared food, and that way they can actually be right next to the kitchen, so they'll be able to grab the food that is prepared, and they'll be able to eat that right away. And I'm going to go ahead and manage that, disable all, and manage it, enable all. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to enable all again. Manage stockpile, enable food barrel. Okay, so prepared food barrel, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, cool. And I'm going to go ahead and chop down a couple more trees. That way we have enough wood. And then what we want to do here, in order to increase our happiness, is let's set up some furniture and some decorations in our most commonly used areas here, okay? So let's see, we need to set up let's just set up a dining table here, a little wooden table right here in the middle of this dining room. And then we'll set up some wooden chairs. Just do 2 chairs for now. Now, what I found is that the most efficient decoration is a harp for some reason, or at least for now, like once you, until you are able to get like gold for bird statues and then like iron for clocks and things like that, the harp's gonna give you the best amount for the small amount of resources that it requires. So I like to just put a harp in all, next to all the areas that I'm going to be frequenting. So I'm just gonna put a harp all over the place there, as you can see. And then for an outside decoration, which is outside of those little areas, I'm not sure what the best outside decoration is, but I can probably just make a statue here. So I'll make a little statue next to our cooking fire. And that should be good to go for now. And I think did I lose another guy? I think I did. I think he tried to chop down the tree. You'll see all those stink clouds showing up. So yeah, I'm starting to lose villagers here, and that's gonna really slow down my production quite a bit if I don't get that taken care of soon enough. So what I need to do is start to attract new villagers to my town. And so what we're gonna do is create some zones for our villagers to sleep in. So we need some personal rooms. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put them here real close. So you'll see it's now turned into Jeff Bomenauer, I don't even know how to, Jeffrey Bemenauer. That's Jeffrey Bemenauer's room. And now I'm not sure, I haven't actually tried this. As much as I've played, I don't know if I can put zones next to each other without them becoming the same zone. Ah, you can. Okay, so that's perfect. So as long as you put one zone at a time, you can put them close to each other. So let's be space efficient. And we need to create about, let's say, a room for 20 villagers, I guess. So this is obviously really dirty and nasty and doesn't look good. But again, we're going to remove this temporary situation later and replace it with a much nicer looking town. But for now, you just have to get stuff started, and that's really the only option, because in order to get a lot of villagers to come to my town, I need areas. You have to have enough rooms for them to to join you. So that should be enough. Once you start seeing personal room where there's no names to it, that means that it's obviously an area where people can come to. And you can actually look at your happiness. If you click your citizens here, you can see these people are not happy. They're right at the very bottom of their happiness meter. And they're okay on food. So see, this person's hungry, and this person's hungry. So we're working on getting them some food and whatnot. But for now, they're not very happy. But once they start getting this furniture built up, they will be a lot happier. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put another statue over here. If these guys are gonna be, well, actually, I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So, raw materials over here. Okay, that's fine. So basically what I need to do is get my production of food underway. So I just need to make sure that these guys are able to make food properly. Once I get enough citizens and I start to produce a larger amount of food, eventually I'm gonna have to make more cooking fires, more kitchen tables and butcher tables and all of that good stuff. So if you have a bottleneck on your production, then most likely the reason is because you don't have enough production utilities. So it took me like hours and hours to figure this out for some reason, but in my last playthrough, I was trying to create a bunch of baked bananas, and they just would not make more than like one at a time, and all my people were going hungry. And I realized later that, oh, well, it takes a kitchen table to make the bananas, so I had to make a bunch of tables and a bunch of fires. And then the bottleneck emptied, and I had like a stockpile of 100 bananas. So anyways, guys, this is going to be where I probably stop, because I'm going to try and get my food production underway. And it's just going to basically a waiting game at this point, especially with such a low amount of citizens. It's going to be really slow at first, but once you start to build up those citizens, this is why I tell people it's like you need to get your citizens going as fast as possible, because once you get 40 or so citizens, things start to speed up quite a lot. And so I'm just gonna start putting up these little decorations around the areas where my people frequent. And I'll probably start setting up some beds and harps inside their personal room so that when they're sleeping, they get happiness built up that way. So basically the trick is to have decorations everywhere that your people frequent. And that will keep your happiness at pretty much as high as it's gonna go. So basically I'm going to pause the game until I guess like these fences get done and my decorations get done, and then we'll come back once my production is starting to come underway and we start getting immigrants in the game. All right, I'll see you guys around for the next one. Make sure you subscribe so you know when they're coming, and hit a like on this video for me, as we are a new channel, so we got to get the word out there, let people know that I am doing videos on this particular channel. Thank you guys for checking it out. I'll see you around for the next one. This is Go With Cheese. Peace out.